I never lied where I came from. Texas had its place for me to find a home deep in my soul. I must know the world as a whole.
Hi, I'm Tom Meny from Austin, Texas, and this song is called Higher Than the Moon, and I co-wrote this one with Ali Tadros. Hey, hey, hey. I count the freckles on your skin to pass the time until you wake up again. Your constellations are my meditations, the silent star that draws me in. Don't need a lullaby, I've got my peace of mind, lying with you by my side. Oh, I'm higher than the moon tonight. Hey, I wonder what it is you see while you were dreaming, stirring in your sleep. Your every motion ripples in the ocean that pulls you closer into me. Oh, don't need a lullaby, I've got my peace of mind, lying with you by my side. Oh, I'm higher than the moon, higher than the moon, higher than the moon tonight. Hey.
Hi, I am Carole, and you are watching Creative's Cornerstone. In this magical, mythical place that we are in, we are going to be talking with the amazing Tom Meny today. Tom, welcome to the show.
It is good to be here, Carole.
It is so good to have you. I feel like you've been the elusive unicorn. I feel like I have been asking you forever to be on the show, both on my radio show, on here. So I got to tell you, you're leaving a trail of glitter dust behind you because I'm really grateful and happy that you're here.
Well, I'm glad to be here. It's just one of those things. I don't know exactly why it is, but I always have felt it's a different type of experience when somebody's interviewing you, and sometimes I feel like maybe I'm not interview worthy.
There's a headspace, I understand. I was not familiar with that concept until one of my guests shared with me that not everybody can just sit down and talk about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about house concerts. That's what it was.
Yeah. That
to do a house concert, you have to be more interactive with the audience because it's up close and personal.
Yeah.
And I was not aware of that viewpoint. So
I am a big fan of house concerts, and I have zero anxiety about house concerts.
Nice.
Just, I think maybe because of the amount that I've done, and I don't feel weird about interaction. It's just in an interview setting, it's like maybe I'm not interesting enough, or
and I am
I
very
worthy
intimidating
of being asked questions about my life. I'm just a regular schmuck that you'd see at the grocery store, But I feel like it's a good time to get out there and get out of the cave and reintroduce myself to the world.
Well,
guess.
Batman, we're glad to have you because one of the things that I hope to, or that I strive to do on this show is have audience members be inspired by my guests. No pressure, meaning everybody's just regular people.
Yeah.
You know, but I hope that they're inspired to get some air under their wings and pursue their passionate purpose, you know, their creative sides. We have all kinds of artists on the show, and that's what it's about. So I want to show the humanity and the humility and the honesty of the guests that are on the show, because, you know, we all are getting through this, you know, one day at a time, one step at a time. And
well, thank you for not giving up on asking me.
You don't know me. I'm very persistent. Well, you may know that about me now, but anyway, so you are a singer-songwriter out of Austin area. How long have you? Are you born and raised here?
No, or? I have been here most of my life. I think I got here when I was 6 or something like that from the Philippines, but have lived in South Austin the entire time until getting my house out in Buda. But
I don't see how you wouldn't qualify as an Austinite. Like, I mean, come on, 6 years old?
Well, yeah, I mean, just not born, but
Right.
raised, yeah, pretty much.
Right. Wow. So you have seen the changing landscape and experienced all of that. I got here late to the party. I've only been here 20 years. And so I've missed some of it. I mean, I've been here for the last 20 years of evolution of the music scene and of Austin.
Right.
And it seems to have highs and lows.
Well, I missed a lot of the, you know, when I have a lot of colleagues and friends in the music circle that were in the scene, I guess,
Right.
much earlier than I. So I missed a lot of the really great parts of when I hear people talking about the scene or old Austin music. I wasn't around for that. I was doing other things.
Right.
But I have seen the changes in the city, and it's a lot different. And there are good things and bad things. And
you know what? Life is an evolution.
Yeah, for
Life
sure.
is an evolution. So for us to expect, I mean, if you go to the smallest little rural country town, it has either died or it's grown. You know, there's change, always. So it's best to just embrace it, figure it out, and move through it, because it's going to change again.
oh yeah.
So you're basically an Austinite. How long have you been doing music?
Well, I've been playing guitar 40 years almost, and I haven't been performing quite as long. I want to say I probably had my first real show in 2010 or 2009 or 10. I opened up for a group called Braille in Round Rock at the something ice house. I can't remember what it was.
I'm going to guess that it's like Round Rock Ice House. I don't know.
It could be. And ever since then, have been playing, and it's kind of different for me now, or over the last few years. I don't play as frequently, but I try to make those performances kind of be special. But
See, as a fan, I have to say, the way you do it, you definitely leave people wanting more. I mean, and just like my pursuit of getting you on the show, it's because I know how good you are. And it's sometimes frustrating that you have to wait so long to be able to go see you. I'm not knocking it. Everybody has their processes, everybody has their thing. But I just, speaking as a fan point, you are good, you are worthy, you are definitely, is pursuable a word? I don't know.
I don't know if it's if I think it's on purpose as much as far as playing less frequently.
Is it just life?
Well, you just, as you get older, or as you travel through different chapters of your life, you start to kind of understand, or you start to prioritize, but you also maybe don't take yourself as seriously as you did before. And in my opinion, there are certain shows that make sense. And this is not to say
it's more
that
discerning. It's more discernment in what venues you're playing or what you're doing with your time.
So I'm not saying that's why I haven't done your show. It's
all good. I'm not taking it personally.
Just I think from a music standpoint and just an experience standpoint, do I want to play this show? Do I feel like will anybody be there? Is it my type of venue? And when I say that, it's, I've learned over the years that it is very, very common for bookers at certain venues to book the wrong acts.
Right, right.
I am not going to do well at a bar where most people are drinking beer. I'll do a lot better at a place where most people are drinking wine and seated. And I think that's just because, for the most part, I play solo acoustic, and it's kind of an intimate feel, and people aren't standing and antsy.
A more intimate venue. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if people are at a bar drinking beer, they don't want to hear 4 songs in a row that are slow acoustic ballads and really a story type of situation.
You are definitely the kind of performer, the type of performer that I would definitely come see in a house concert, just for the interaction. And I love the fact that you are there, you're going to be heard. I mean, everybody that's in the room is there for your performance and to hear you, versus the football game that's going on above, that guy's head. Although I guess it depends on where the stage is, because that could be,
I actually have just exact story of that exact thing. And I got a pretty good song out of it. And Ray Prim, as you know, Ray has been on this show. He's the one that got me that gig, but that has been a song that I play almost every show and tell that story. But yeah, there was a TV right behind my head, and I can't remember if it was a Cowboys game or a Patriots game, but it was a place where people were drinking beer, and they came to that place to drink beer and eat pizza and watch football, not to hear a ballad guys playing solo acoustic in the corner of the room. But
it didn't hit me until one time Jeremiah and I were, we'd gone to the cafe in Wimberley because Richard was playing. This was several years ago. And it hit me during that time. We were in a good table, had a good view, nice, enjoyable evening. And Richard's up there playing, and I love live music. I love listening to an artist. But there was so much noise going on all around me. Now, I'm not calling out the little cafe in Wimberley as a bad place at all. It's one of my favorite little cafes. I wish there were more of them in all the towns. But for this particular, instance, I could hear clanging.
Yeah.
I could hear all these people because they're out on, I don't know if it was a Saturday night or a Friday night, they're all out, they're having a good time, they're talking, they're seeing, they're excited. But I was there to hear the music, and it was so loud. I really felt like there was disrespect happening. Mm-hmm. I had to put it in perspective because all those people were here, they were, enjoying each other. But that's when I really fell in love with house concerts and more intimate clubs or, venues.
There's several reasons that I enjoy them. But, when I first started playing, I would see, I'd be in bars where there was a lot of noise and people having their own conversations while somebody I knew was on stage. And back then, my reaction is anger, right? Like, what are you doing? Why can't you see there's people performing?
Right.
But as I've kind of gone through the years, I have a different understanding of that.
Sure.
These people that are having a good time on their Friday night just got off work and they want to let some steam off, but they don't care if there's a jukebox playing or if there's somebody on stage. But as a musician, we have to understand there are two different things, right?
Perspectives,
and it's okay to play these kind of shows. They pay money, and you may be sleeping on a couch, a buddy's couch or whatever, and then it just takes time to shift what you're doing. And then there's people that's their career is playing cover bands in bars, because cover bands in bars make more money than most folks, right? But to me, it's just a matter of, if I decide to take a show where I know that's a possibility, and it's a place where maybe I've not played before, none of the people in the crowd are familiar or coming to see me, then I need to know going in, I'm either going to be background music, which is 99.9% of the time, or it's a type of venue where I have maybe the ability to get their attention and have them quiet down, which I've seen, which is an incredible skill. So house shows, on the other hand,
whole nother.
Are one, I've not made more money than when I play house shows. It is, and it's not just about the money, but when you're trying to make sense of things and trying to do this as a career,
or you're trying to put an EP together, or you've got projects that you're trying to fund.
Right. It's and some of these people, that there's a culture in itself in these house shows where some of the house show hosts, they're really trying to outdo one another with how great their setup is.
Oh my gosh, it has like bloomed. Some of the spaces are like insane.
Yeah, I did a tour with some people from the Kerrville Folk Festival, New Folk thing, out in New England, and we played a place in, I want to say it was in Connecticut, out in the country, or in the woods almost, and the host was like I don't know if she was a Michelin chef, but she was like 4-star, whatever. Very important chef, known and in magazines and all that. And she had like a 4-course or 5-course dinner prepared by her staff. And it was a beautiful home. And in the back of that home was a barn that looked like, gosh, I can't remember the name of the artist, but he used to do like scenes from back in the day, maybe the 50s, scenes from New England, like in the fall when the trees are orange and yellow. I can't remember that guy's name, but if I said it, you would recognize it. Anyway, this setting
like a painting.
Looked like that, and the barn was a beautiful barn from looking at it from the outside. It was kept, it didn't look like a broken down barn, but then when they opened the barn doors, it was a real venue with a stage and lighting and a great sound system and over 100 seats. And I've been lucky enough to play in house shows that are like that.
You were very fortunate to.
Oh yeah, that was a special, one-off thing, just because we were on tour. We were New Folk winners at the Kerrville Folk Festival, and happened to be able to get a little bit of a grant to go tour New England. So we did mostly house shows up there, and they were all very established house shows with their own built-in guests. So I mean, these folks have hundreds of people on their guest list.
What a great experience.
Yeah, it was really cool.
You were talking about time placement, energy placement, discerning where you play and the venues you choose. And I find the older I get, it's about the experiences. For me, it's about the experience. The firsts.
Yeah.
There aren't a lot of firsts the older you get, you know, and so I really embrace. And sometimes they're a lot of fun, and sometimes they're like, oh my gosh, but check it off the list. Okay, I've done that. What kind of music do you perform? That was a good transition, wasn't it?
I tell people singer-songwriter when they ask me, but then nobody really knows what that means, and that can,
That's a huge bucket. That's a
big spectrum. But I watched Ray Prim's episode with you, and
thank you.
I will say, just to appease Ray, I am a singer-songwriter.
Oh no! Hold on. I think that was copyrighted.
I think he'd be
Ray
okay with
said
it.
he copyrighted that because that was amazing.
He wants people to branch into that and start using it. And there's a bunch of us, and a lot of us are connected through these songwriting groups. And so singer-songwriter, I think I'm okay with that.
There is an entire subculture of singer-songwriters and a whole other society of, it's an amazing undercity river of talent and creativity. And we were talking about vibes off camera earlier, and that is the vibe, that is the undercurrent in this city. You can change the landscape, you can put a crane over here, build this up or build that up, but the undercurrent of this city, the creativity that flows, is just, it's something they really, they're working on altering that just by, prices and all the things.
Yeah.
But it's a thing that, it's, I don't know, it's a vibe.
Yeah, and I hope that it continues and branches out. I'm seeing things kind of spread. So even in my town in Buda, there's now a venue that a lot of people are playing, and
and I'm watching the creators. They're heading south down the corridor, and as a result, these great places are opening, and for me that's great. I love Austin, and I'll always love my time in the city. But I love experiencing new things. So, it's a welcome thing. It's a welcome thing. My concern, is as an observer, as a fan, this discussed with Facebook and people leaving Facebook or talking about leaving Facebook or what's the next place you're going to go to because I can't, for whatever reason, folks, it is what it is. As an observer, as a fan, that's terrifying for me. If people are living in Facebook and they can't make the break, they can't get away, that's a first world problem that they need to address. If you use it the way it is meant to be used, as you stop in, you check on this, I keep in touch with friends from school, school days. That's fabulous. I love hearing about them. But I follow the musicians on there. And so as they're leaving, it makes it very hard. Say, well, you can follow me on my webpage. I have everything listed there. But as a fan of many, it's very difficult to have enough hours in the day to live my life and live my existence and then spend that much time on a computer following all these different websites. I don't have enough time.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. Even I doubt that having my website is even justifiable as far as from a cost perspective, because most people don't go to it to find out where I'm playing. They know from Facebook, but
well, that's just the thing. There are so many people that are following so many people on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's not just the cesspool.
Right.
or the gunk. It's people who are actively following you, following the artist, following the live streams, following the, and there's so many. That's one of the things, and I'm going to ask you about the dark years in a minute, but that's one of the things that came out of COVID from my perspective, is that you see a lot more performers performing and doing live streams. But they have their tip jar up there too. They have their Venmo. They have their ways that you can, give them a tip. But it helps because not everybody is able to get to the clubs or get to where my last stroke, year before last, took part of my vision. It's very hard for me to get around after dark. And that's when most of the musicians are dwelling. I'm in the studio on Sundays. I only have Saturdays, between these hours to actually go out and really, unless I'm going out with friends or unless someone takes me. But the thought is terrifying that all of the, talent is exiting from.
I think, and I've been thinking about this lately because I've seen changes, recently in social media from, I think the algorithms have changed, but
a lot has changed.
And there may be some design to that, right?
Yes.
To keep people from being such a big tribe, collectively having some of the same ideas. So for me, I'm not going anywhere because I want to complain and fight some of this stuff.
The rebel in you.
Well, it just, and I don't know that it makes me, some kind of a. I don't know that my opinion matters at all, but I sure do like to say it out loud a lot. But so I'm not running. But also, I don't know that a whole lot of the musicians that I've seen have been. Well, I've seen a handful, but I don't know what sense it makes other than for our own mental health and anxiety and anger that we get so enraged through the day for certain things to go to this site that's all peace and flowers or whatever.
But see here, that's the thing. This is what I mean, the very core. Social media, Facebook particularly. Step away, do your mental health. It's not a place to dwell. It's a place to put it out there. It's a place to share.
Yeah.
It's not a place to live.
Right.
To live, it's definitely going to screw you up.
The funny thing is the kids aren't on Facebook.
Exactly.
And so it's just,
it's the keyboard warrior parents.
Yeah. Well, it's the parents and people in my age group, and it's this big of a group, right? So I keep hitting this mic. I'm sorry, but I don't know that there's any turning the clock around.
It's only forward.
I don't think there's any way to do that with any part of culture or society.
Exactly.
And the days of when I was younger and would go out to see a band or stand in line to buy tickets for a concert,
right?
Those days are done, and so everything is so sectionalized now that there won't be just worldwide superstars anymore because there's just so many artists and the way you find them is different. Some of these artists are being found on TikTok. That's
Absolutely.
Obviously the younger crowd, right? So, this guy's super famous. If I walked into this person, I wouldn't know anything about him. It wouldn't be, oh my God, tears wouldn't start. But if the kids see this same person, that's a superstar to them. And it's just, people are famous from different places. And it's not,
TV is like that. I mean, I don't have cable, as I believe the majority of people don't have cable. Mm-hmm. You have channels, you have subscriptions.
Yeah.
And I find my entertainment is coming off of YouTube. I have podcasters I follow, YouTube people that I follow. And and I'm content with that. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I don't, so everything is changing. We're moving forward. I mean, the landscape is evolving on every level. So, the keyboard warrior parents, there's no going back. There's only getting through. And the way you get through, you have to make the changes. You have to do the changes. That's a whole other topic for a whole nother show, somebody else's. We are going to talk about you. I do want to ask, before we send you off to play your music, what did you do during the dark years, which of course were COVID?
That's a good way to describe it, the dark years. I was basically locked in my room for a lot of it, and had some mental health issues, and I would say that it has not been until very recently that I climbed out of that tunnel. So it was a time where I had lost my job and wasn't able to find another position for well over a year. So financially, it was pretty devastating.
Right.
But I found myself in a depression that I didn't know that it was like that. And
I experienced something like that. It wasn't through COVID, but so I can touch what you're saying.
So, I am glad to have learned a lot from that and kind of learned different ways to avoid falling into that again. And I don't know that is guaranteed, but so
what did you do to, as a creative, I know when you're a creative, you have to create.
Yeah.
Because it isn't, if you stop creating, it's just like authors say they have writer's block or whatever, if you can't, it's a real thing. If you can't create, you get stopped up.
Right. Music, whereas a lot of my friends and peers were really creating a lot of songs, I just wasn't in that space, and nothing was happening. I don't know that there were times where I didn't touch my guitar for months.
Right.
I watched a lot of YouTube, and maybe it was that particular algorithm that I fell into because of a video I watched or whatever, but I started seeing nothing but those algorithms changed, and I noticed that. But one of the things that was stuck in my YouTube algorithm was content creation and video editing, cameras, learning about video cameras.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah. And so I spent a lot of time watching, and then I spent a lot of money trying, right? And I think that I am at least a competent level of understanding. I've got a very nice camera, very nice lights, and
you turned to education. You started educating yourself in something that you were unfamiliar with before.
And I don't know if it was on purpose or just, hey, that's interesting, and then I just started watching video after video. I did have the time. And so I think what I wanted to do with it was because for years I'd been doing these YouTube videos where at first it started with me playing covers, and then as I started to write my own songs, I would post my own songs. And so what I wanted to have was just a more professional looking video, not like a music video where I'm acting stuff out, but just a better quality camera and better quality sound.
It's a better experience for those who are watching it.
Yeah, and for me as the guy putting it out, I don't feel so awful about hearing terrible sound or watching a grainy video. But
shout out to Richard and David here.
And I learned drones even, and I got certified. I've got my FAA license in my wallet.
Seriously, we need
Yeah.
to talk after the show about that. Jeremiah and I have been spending a lot of time playing with my drone.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have questions. So, Tom, I feel like the time has just been too short. There's just so much. There's so much. We barely scratched the surface. We talked about all kinds of things. We didn't get really into your music, but we're going to let everybody experience you for themselves. Next time you see Tom, he is going to be mic'd up and playing just for you. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Care.
Hey, so I need to know, who was your best friend in 5th grade?
In 5th grade, I had 2 best friends, Damien Barbado and Derek Lauderyoung.
Damon and Derek.
Yes.
Damien and Derek. Why?
I think because they lived in close proximity to me. And I think when you're in 5th grade, that's how it goes for the most part.
Right, gotta hoof it.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna see you on set in just a couple minutes.
Okay, great. Looking forward to it.
Nothing feels as good as you do. Nothing feels that good, no. I've searched long and hard, and I know that it's true. And nothing feels like you. I had white sand between my toes and heard my songs on radios. I've been to New York and I've been to Spain. I own a car, own a home, got lots of friends, but I live alone. That might seem sad, but I can't complain, no. Oh, let me explain. Nothing feels as good as you do. Nothing feels that good, no. I've searched long and hard, and I know that it's true. Nothing feels like you. I broke the law and got away. Misdemeanor crime don't pay. I was young, it sure was a thrill. Well, now I'm grown and times have changed. The things I want, they ain't the same. I found you, now I can't get my fill, no. Oh, there's not even a pill. Nothing feels as good as you do. Nothing feels that good, no. I've searched long and hard, and I know that it's true. Nothing feels like you. It's hard to break down in words. My heart's doing all this work. Adrenaline's strong, your green light's still on, so I'm gonna race on through. Oh, you know that it's true. Nothing feels as good as you do. Nothing feels that good, no. If you ran away, I don't know what I'd do. Well, I'd probably bottom out. I don't ever want to think about how I couldn't live without you.
You know, in the interview, we were talking about a song that I wrote after an experience playing at a bar where the TV was behind my head and a football game was on. And I thought people were digging what I was doing, and just come to find out the Cowboys scored. And let's see, this one I call Crowded Room.
I'm almost ready. My guitar is in tune. There's a chair and a tip jar in the corner of the room. That's where I'll pour my heart out to this drunken crowd. So hard to play, 'cause it's so damn loud. And nobody's listening to the songs I do. If they were, they would know they're all about you. I struggle with pride to get through the night, yeah. I sold my soul 'cause the money was right. Yeah, the money was right. I spit out words they'll never hear. I've covered joy, I've covered loss, and I've covered fear. Nobody's listening to the songs I do. If they were, they would know they're all about you. It's a lonely night in this crowded room. It's a lonely night in this crowded room. Nobody's listening to the songs I do. If they were, they wouldn't know. If they were, they'd know. If they were, and they would know they're all about you.
This one I wrote after a little bit of a health scare, and I want to say this one is on my first album called On My Way, and this song's called Heaven Can Wait.
They tried to take me back in the summer of 13. They opened up the gate. I told them I'd be late. Sent a note apologizing for my long delay. I'll get there eventually, but for now I'm gonna stay. Heaven can wait, heaven can wait. Another day, yeah. I got more time than my place in line. Heaven can wait. It took some time till I was strong enough to raise my head, pick up my feet and crawl out of bed. Never got a chance to hear them all sing along, 'cause they knew all the words to one of my songs. Heaven can wait, heaven can wait. Another day, yeah. I got more time than my place in line. You'll do just fine, don't you worry about the rest. Live like you wanna live, have fun, do your best. Have fun, do your best, yeah. Heaven can wait, heaven can wait. Another day, yeah. I got more time than my place in line. I got more time than my place in line. I got more time than my place in line. Heaven can wait. Heaven can wait. I think I'm gonna do one more. This is about an alien who roams the streets not too far from this place. And there's a little shout out to Austin OG artist Daniel Johnston. Thanks for having me. Some people say that I look funny. I must not be from around this place. Got purple skin and buggy eyes. I'm from outer space. I'm from outer space. Their heads are down as they cross the road. Feel like I'm just wasting smiles. And no one said a word at all. I've been wandering round for miles. I've been wandering round for miles. Oh, where I come from, we won't ignore that you exist. This could have been your worst day. So when our paths cross, I will always say, hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Yeah. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? I arms are long, they touch the ground. I use these arms to hug my son and daughter, and my mom and my dad when they're in town. So if you pass me on the street, promise I don't mean you any harm, no. That has everything to do with how I got raised. 'Cause I've got Southern Martian charm. I got Southern Martian charm. Oh, where I come from, we won't ignore that you exist. This could have been your worst day. So when our paths cross, I will always say hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Yeah. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Makes all the difference in the world. You need to listen, boys and girls. Makes all the difference in the world. Makes all the difference. Thank you very much for having me. My name's Tom Meny.
Wait. You're my chip.
The silence and I broke the dawn. It's just the wrong side of the rider that you woke upon. I will be coming back, I will be coming strong. I held the pages and I held the pen. I held the broken heart that couldn't seem to bleed again. I'm coming empty, but I'm coming in. I've been drinking at the water's edge, prayed for thunder in the watershed, dreamed a bridge across the riverbed. When it dried, I bled. I pray for music and I pray for words. I pray for anything but silence in the mouths of birds. It's more than I expect, it's more than I deserve. Maybe I have taken more than mine. Maybe I'm here taking shots of someone else's wine. My breath is coming back, gasping line by line. I've been drinking at the water's edge, prayed for thunder in the watershed, dreamed a bridge across the riverbed. When it dried, I bled.
thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me, Carole.
Oh my gosh. Can we share with the audience members where they can find you, what you're doing, all things you?
Yes, I've got my notes. I have a show at Cantina Sound House Concerts with Daniel Niehoff on May 4th. Now, that is a house show, so you have to be on the invite list, and we'll put the URL up, I'm assuming, right here or here or something.
It'll be right there.
And Daniel is a fellow New Folk winner. We have not met yet, so I'm looking forward to playing that show. And that is in the Dripping Springs area. And then I'm playing at the 04 Center Wednesday, June 11th. And that is a show that I'm looking forward to a lot. Not that I'm not looking forward to the other one, but that is with Ray Prim.
Dynamic duo, folks.
Well, it'll be a quattro. It'll be,
Okay.
or a quartet. Me, Ray Prim, Roger Blevins Jr., which is, it means the world to me that we get to play a show with Roger because of the trials and tribulations that he's been overcoming, and our friend Charlie Gore. So we're really looking forward to that. That'll be an acoustic kind of song swap at the 04 Center, which is a really cool venue. It's built in an old church, so the sound is great, and it's just really cool. So hope you all come out for that.
And then your website is where?
TomMeny.com, TOMMENY.com.
Double M, folks. TOMMENY.com.
Yes, and you can find me on all the streaming places.
Thank you again so much, Tom.
Thanks for having me. I had fun.
Y'all, we will see you next time.
Thank you for the sound and the video, guys.
Oh, shout out to the crew.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
We hope your new realtor plays drums in a band. We hope your new dentist is its front man. We hope live music always makes you proud. Just don't call the cops if you think it's too loud. South by South by South by Southwest. We hope you'll like it so much you'll move here just like the rest of us now.